Welcome to Healthy Pets, Healthy Owners. I'm Dr. Edmund Sulkowski. We have a wonderful, interesting show today. I've invited Sherry and her husband Jerry Johnson on from Heart and Soul Parrot Rescue, and they brought in a few of their friends here. A couple of them are up for adoption, and one is actually Sherry's bird.
Correct.
So what we're going to do today is talk about, we hear, what's this one?
This is Diamond.
Diamond sounding like a dove.
She is.
But we're going to talk about what it takes to have a bird in your home and what requirements they are, and how Sherry and Jerry started their rescue agency. And then we're going to talk about adopting a couple of these birds into your home. So welcome to Healthy Pets, Healthy Owners.
Thank you for having us today.
So Sherry, you and your husband Jerry started this adoption pet rescue for parrots. And
Correct.
you call it Heart and Soul because?
They're our heart and soul.
And
So.
what prompted you to do this?
We have about 4.5 years experience in rescue. Decided Halloween night that me and a friend of ours, Christine Everett, were going to start our own. So January 1st, we opened our doors. We have 40 birds in the system right now.
So you're talking 6 months or so, and you have 40 birds that were given up for adoption.
Correct. We've had 3 or 4 adoptions. We are having a problem getting people to come to classes. We do require a class in order to adopt from us because we want you to understand that these birds are complex. They're
very intelligent creatures as well.
Exactly. They don't live on seed. We use seed as training. They do pellet and fresh. If you can see, we have some feather issues on Charlie here.
And that's usually a sign of nutrition deficiency.
Exactly. With the class, we do want you to understand that they are long-term. They're not just kind of throwaway pets.
Yeah. So let's talk in generally how you end up getting some of these animals first, and then we'll talk about the procedures to take one home and add it to your family.
It's a wide range of reasons. Mostly owners are getting too old now to take care of them, and they are long-term animals. They can live to be about 75.
What's the average? Are bigger birds live longer than smaller birds?
Yes. Charlie here is about 35. She can live to be about 75. 75 is usually the highest, higher age. It depends on diet and food and everything. Diamond here, her lifespan is usually about 25, and that's with great diet and everything too. She is 20. So when she goes out, she is a hospice bird. They are adopting to know that we don't know when she's going to pass.
So somebody that is up in age, the bird isn't really the best choice of a pet.
No, not at all. Not at all. Like I said, Charlie here can live to be a 75. Merlin here, he's 13. He can be up to 75. I'm 50. I'm not going to live to be 110.
So do you have to make arrangements? Have you made arrangements?
I have. I have a couple of them that are young. I have 2 daughters that are highly involved in the rescue. One's going for vet tech school right now, and they both have already divvied up who they're going to take. So I'm going to put them in the will on who gets what, but they've already decided.
You know, it's an interesting concept, but you really have to do that to look out for the welfare of these animals.
Correct. And one of the reasons we get some birds in too is because of owner sickness. We just had a gentleman that passed. He had stage 4 cancer. He had 8 birds, and his family did not want anything to do with the birds.
Well, you can understand that some people are afraid of birds.
Oh yeah.
And, I think that movie, the Birds, probably propagates that.
Exactly.
But they require a lot of love. First of all, I had a parrot for 25 years, and she was a rescue. I don't know how old she was when I got her, but they require a lot of attention and a lot of love. They want to be with humans.
Right.
You know, or at least with another bird.
Right.
And this particular bird, Lido, that I had, when she came into the house, I was a kid living with my parents. She took to me for some reason and hated everybody else. She used to dive bomb them and draw blood.
They do. They pick one person sometimes.
But she picked me. you
Right.
know, and never bit me, never did any of that stuff.
Straight
She just came to me.
Sit on.
Right.
And, you know, she had an interesting, good life. And then one day came home and she was gone.
Right. Right.
But they require a lot of work. You have to keep their cage clean.
Their
If you don't
water.
clean it, they clean it for you.
Oh yeah, and their waters. We
Yeah.
do waters 2 to 3 times a day. They do need squirted down or bathed. We do a mixture of aloe water and aloe and water spray for them, so it keeps some of their dander down also.
So what is their lifestyle basically as birds that are captive in your home?
Well, they get out, they get enrichment.
So you let them out of the cage? Do they,
I have a big tree that they climb on. They get wood toys. I'm going through like $300 worth of wood toys every 2 weeks. So
and they need that because their instinct is to
chew on everything.
Yeah.
Yep. Cardboard boxes, their perches. They chew through them. We have in Charlie's cage. We have a 2x4 untreated perch that she chews on.
And you got to be careful about the chemicals that are in some of these,
Correct.
these items. So-
Correct. You always have to make sure that it's not treated.
Because it's very easy for a bird to become toxic.
Yes. Yes. Yep. Perfumes, candles, any of that will harm them also.
Even cooking can interfere with
Correct.
their breathing capabilities
Yep.
and so forth. Or drywalling in your house, anything like
Painting.
that. Paint. Yeah, it's amazing how sensitive they are
Yeah.
when they live out in nature. But mostly nature's cleaner than our house. our homes,
Exactly.
you know.
Exactly.
So let's talk about Charlie here. How old is Charlie?
Charlie is 35.
And he was with one person for
He
his life?
came in. Yep. He was with 2. He came in the day after Christmas. The owner that had him prior had 4 other macaws, so she was with other macaws. She also has a bad wing, so she doesn't fly. She takes a while to get used to you.
Yeah.
Like I said, we had a love-hate relationship for about 2 weeks, which is fast considering, but
They have to gain your trust.
exactly. She is up for adoption. It's going to take somebody meeting her a couple times. This isn't going to happen overnight.
And so you're looking for a home of a younger type family
Yes.
owners because this lifespan could be 75, 80 years.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So, hi, Charlie.
It's a beautiful bird.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah. And then your bird, who's not up for adoption,
Correct.
is what's her name?
It is Merlin.
Merlin.
He is an umbrella cockatoo. He's 13, so he's pretty young for a bird. He's just getting out of his juvenile stage. So he goes through some bad hormone times. He's the one that has bit me the most.
Is that right?
Oh yeah, he's my big cuddle bug. He loves to like kind of hang out right here on me. But again, he's the one that has bit me the most.
Actually drawing blood?
Oh yeah, he pierced my ear twice.
Well, you know, it's funny. My parrot, if somebody came to the house and they were wearing earrings,
Oh, wanted the
that
shinies.
that was such an attraction. And you pull on it.
Oh, I had one that plucked the diamond out of my earring.
Wow.
Left the earring setting in, but plucked the diamond right out.
Yeah.
So, I mean, these beaks can little screws. I have one that has destroyed 2 cages.
They're so intelligent that they watch you and see how you cage them in, and they learn how to unlock that cage.
Oh,
And
yeah.
when I wanted to lock Lido up, I literally had to put a little lock on it because she would open her cage and come out. Now,
yeah.
she was pretty well trained and really wasn't a problem, but sometimes for her own safety,
Right.
I wanted her just to be in her cage. So, do they kind of go to sleep when you go to sleep and wake up when you wake up? Is that their routine?
Pretty much. We turn the lights out, usually about 8 or 9 o'clock. They're all in my downstairs. I have an unfinished basement. So they're down there and they have avian lighting. They're also in the garage, which is heated, which right now we don't have to worry about. But this one here, 8 o'clock, if you do not have those lights out, he's screaming. Let me go to bed. But other than that,
And
like I said, once the lights are out, they all...
covering the cage sometimes helps.
We don't cover anybody's cage.
No?
Not necessary.
No.
Because that's what they wouldn't do in nature. They wouldn't be covered up. But,
Right.
No,
you know.
and usually about 8 or 9 o'clock they all get loud. Like I said, this one here, if his lights aren't off, he's
And it-
screaming at you to turn them off.
Some people will cover their cages if they're amongst the living area, like in the dining room, living room,
Right.
and you're still watching TV or family time. Then it's okay to cover the cage so they can get the proper rest.
Yeah. It's amazing, how sensitive these birds are. Like I was saying before, they live in the wild, and they're food for some creatures.
Right.
There's chance of disease, accident, but inside that home, it changes that environment, and they seem to have a higher sensitivity to what I call insults.
Oh yeah.
And I think you really have to be careful.
We have a whole checklist of things that we go through. We go over it in class. It's like perfumes. I have perfume on right now, which I probably shouldn't, but perfumes, candles, Teflon, air fryers are a big thing. A lot of people don't know they have Teflon in them, and there's such a high concentration, I guess. They've been known to wipe out whole flocks.
Oh, it's not good for us either.
Exactly. We do like Febrezes, stuff like that. We say don't use anything with their cage. You want to do like vinegar and water to clean their cage. We do have disinfectant that we use that's veterinary approved, that the vets use to clean cages and clean off like their tables and stuff.
And that's basically a daily chore.
It is. We do a deep cleaning once a week, which we take everything out, hose it down, spray it with stuff, scrub it, and then disinfect it.
So what started your fascination with birds?
I've always loved birds. A long time ago, we had a little Nanday conure, and of course, I was having kids, and it got to the point where we couldn't take care of her anymore, and we relinquished her to a friend of ours to take care of. And she lasted probably about 20 years. But then one day, once the kids were grown up, and I was just like, I want another one. So we actually went through a rescue, and again, Merlin was our first rescue bird, so adoptable rescue bird that we took in.
And so, Jerry, you got conned into all of this? Were you a bird lover before, or?
Well, once you pick up one of these guys and they cuddle into you, it changes your outlook.
Yeah.
And that's exactly what he did. I went in, put my arm up, he stepped up and put his head right underneath my chin, and that was all she wrote. He goes, "We're going home with a bird, aren't we?" So, yes, we are.
So where are you located? Where?
We're in West Mifflin by Kennywood.
Okay.
Predominantly the business is out of my home. Right now, with us being new, we don't have a facility to work through. So, but my house is big enough that most of the birds are downstairs. Our personal birds, my personal birds are downstairs with all the other birds, but my kids each have birds, so they're upstairs with them.
And so if I was interested in adopting a bird, what's the procedure, and how do we get a hold of you, and then what do you require from me?
We require that you take one class. It's usually held first or second Sunday of the month. That is 2 hours long, just to go over and make sure everybody's on the same page. We do a home check and a meet and greet. The home check's just to make sure that the bird is going into a safe environment.
Mm-hmm.
And one thing that we are a stickler for is a CO detector. We've had a whole flock basically die because of not having a CO detector in your home. So
Because that's an odorless gas, and
Yes.
and then they're real sensitive to that. That's
Yep.
why they used parakeets and mines to.
Yep, the canaries in the
Yeah,
mine, they would
canaries,
take one
yeah.
down with them. So,
Yeah.
and then once you get the home check done, then we do a meet and greet with the birds, because we say the bird picks you.
And that's so true.
It is. We had somebody come in for a cockatoo, big burly guy, and he ended up walking out with a little green cheek conure about this big, and it was one that had given us problems. Wanted to eat us, but I had gotten it to the point like it would come down for treats. And he just climbed into this guy's hoodie with his wife and would not let us take him out of the hoodie. And that night we did a home check, and he ended up with a green cheek conure. They had to go out and get another cage because they had one for a cockatoo.
So that bird adopted them.
Pretty much. And if the people aren't comfortable with the bird that picks them, we usually do a few meet and greets and have them come over until they're comfortable and we're comfortable with them handling them.
So if I wanted to take one of your rescues, but I had big dogs in my house or a cat, is that a problem?
No, not at all. We have 2 cats. We have 3 dogs. Christine, my co-owner, she has 5 dogs. One's a rescue that she's just fostering, and she has 4 cats. So
do you isolate them, or I mean, a cat's instinct is to go after a bird. Even most dogs will do that.
Yes and no. The more thing is, like, if it's going to be a predator type situation, like a lot of people don't understand, like exotic animals like snakes or such, it will mentally give the bird, it's a predator animal, so that's not a good fix. But you take a look, make sure that the dog's not lunging at the cage. It's kind of a bad trial and error.
Most cats and dogs are afraid of these beaks too.
Terrified.
So I have 3 little ones, and they run when any of the birds are out. They go and hide. They don't want anything to do with them.
So we had a dachshund named Duchess, and when I got the bird would fly down with Duchess's bowl, and they'd sit together and eat.
Mm-hmm.
And, in fact, the bird would fly at dinner time or breakfast, whatever we were eating, and eat off the plates. We had to keep a little plate separate for the bird.
Right.
But Duchess took to the bird immediately, and the bird used to nestle with the dog, miniature dachshund. But we rescued another dog whose name was Phoebe, and Phoebe was, wanting to bite the bird, so the bird stayed away from her. But it took probably a year before Phoebe stopped the concept of wanting to lunge.
Right.
Right. When the bird would fly, her reaction would be, to jump at it.
Right.
But it took a little time, and then she was okay. But I got to tell you a funny story. I think you'll find this interesting. So I had a stray cat that was basically an outdoor cat, and I would feed it, and every once in a while it would come into the house, and it was such an odd cat. It just showed up one day, as cats do. I'm not really what you call a cat person, but it needed fed, and I kind of took it in and cared for it and took it to the vet and all of those things. And this cat, who I called Cat, would walk with me when I'd walk the dogs, and people would say, "That cat's walking with you." I go, "I know." Well, I left to go to the office one morning, and I always left out the back door, and that cat somehow got in, and I didn't know. I didn't see the cat, and it got in the house. And I came home 6-7 hours later, and my 2 dachshunds, Odie and Crinkles, would always be right in the kitchen waiting for me to come in that back door. They weren't there. I called them, and they didn't come, and I thought, something's wrong. And Lido wasn't in her cage.
Oh, jeez.
I walked into the dining room, and there were green feathers everywhere. And I went, oh my, the cat got in and killed Lido. The funny thing is, I'll have to say this right off, it was a green feather duster that the cat had torn up, right? So that was laying around somewhere, and the cat went after that. But Odie was at the foot of the bed in one of the bedrooms. The cat was on the bed, and Crinkles was guarding the door. So those 2 dachshunds that go along with that cat guarded that cat from going after that bird. I found the bird in my bedroom tucked in the pillowcase, not on the drapes, but tucked in the pillowcase, hiding.
This one here loves to bury into the blankets and pillows. So yeah, you have to be careful when you sit down.
Yeah, But it was so amazing, the scenario. You see these green feathers, the dogs aren't responding, Lido's not responding, But my dogs protected that bird from this cat.
Wow.
But
that's awesome.
Yeah, so that's interesting to hear, because I would think sometimes you'd kind of be a little leery about.
Yeah, we go in and assess the situation. That's not like a lot of people say, I can't adopt, I have cats. Like I said, that's not a deal breaker. We go in and, like I said, assess. That's one of the reasons
It's a
we do the
concern,
home.
but you need to check it out.
Right.
Yeah.
and we do a home check, and we do make sure that they know you can't leave them out alone, because some people forget and walk away. But the cats and dogs usually tend to go after the smaller birds and not the bigger birds.
Not the bigger birds.
Yeah. So, but and if they want to adopt from us, we do have a hotline. It's the number's 412-748-1288.
Say that again.
412-748-1288.
So I would call you and say I'm interested in a bird, and then I would come and have basically an interview with you.
Right.
What other requirements do you
Like I
have?
said, the class, you do have to do a home check, and then the meet and greet.
Is there a cost?
It's $10 per family. We don't charge per person. And again, like I said, it's a 2-hour class. And once you adopt from us, that's not the end of it. We're there all the time for you. So if you're having problems, we don't want you to bring the bird back or say, I can't deal with this. We come in, we give you options on the phone on things that you can try. If that's not working, we do come into the home and try to work with you and the bird to give you some training tips for it. And again, like I said, we want these guys to be in their forever home when they come in. We don't want them to be boomeranging, because it's
Tough
hard on them.
It's
It's
hard
stressful.
emotionally, right?
So,
Have you had? Do you and have you had the circumstances where it just wasn't a good fit, and then you took the bird back?
yes,
Yeah.
we
so
had.
you make yourself available in case that happens.
Yes, we do.
Absolutely.
We do. So
And is there a rescue fee for
no.
no
We do ask that you give a donation,
because
but
of the cost of the food and everything. that
exactly.
you're
But we
buying?
do. There is an adoption fee, and it ranges per bird. We do have them on our Facebook page and our website. Our website is not up and running quite yet. We're still working on that. But the Facebook page, you can find us at you spell out and, Soul Parrot Rescue. And that should bring us up on Facebook.
So, what do you do as far as a bird getting sick? Are there vets who just take care of birds?
There are avian vets. We have a list of them when you come to our class, so you have a list when you go home. Avian specialists are far and few between in Pittsburgh. It's very hard to find. We right now are using Dr. Wagner out of North Burroughs, but he's only there Mondays and Tuesday evenings to see exotics, but he's phenomenal with the birds.
And that's really a specialty for veterinarians.
Correct.
Your average vet's not going to know a lot about birds.
Exactly. And usually when these guys show sickness, it's immediate. You have to get them to a vet.
And a lot of times it's lung issues.
It could be bacteria. We actually have one that was adopted through another rescue, and she has cancer. We had a
Which
tumor.
got to be pretty rare.
It is. We had the tumor removed. She was doing chemo. The last chemo, she had a bad reaction. So we're holding out to see how she's doing, and then he's going to take her back for another different type of chemo.
What kind of care do the beaks and the nails require?
It depends on the bird and how fast they grow. This beak, her beak's fine. Oh no. She was
she
just
bites you all the time.
she was taken care of. Her nails aren't bad either.
So you file them down? Is that what you do?
They clip them. So
Or Dremel tool.
That's what I use for the nails on my dog.
And,
Beaks should be done by a vet.
they have
Do they have a quick in there like the nails as well?
yeah, and there's some nerves that are in there, so if you hit the nerve, it could hurt them. So, and then the wings are preference. It's up to you, or if they
You're
are
talking about clipping
Clipping
so
them
that
as-
prevents them from flying.
correct. Again, it's preference. His wings are growing back. He kind of crashes and burns, so when he takes off, he doesn't know he's flying into a wall. So we try to keep his wings clipped. Here we go. Charlie here, her wings, one of them was, I think, broke when she was younger, so she can't fly. She also was left in a conure-sized cage when she was first growing.
So explain
So
what that is.
if you look, a conure size cage is probably about this big and maybe this wide.
And she needs a house.
Exactly. She
Yeah.
needs wingspan. So when she opens her wings, she can spread them. She could not in this. So if you look, she's pretty like hunched over, whereas like Merlin sits straight up
Yeah.
with his shoulders back.
Yeah.
Good boy.
Huh.
But they offer a lot of love to you as a pet owner.
They do. They do. You want to give me a kiss? No today?
And what about talking? Is it easy to get them to talk? Certain birds talk more than other birds?
It depends, and then of course they're stubborn, so they do it when they want to do it and on their terms. Charlie says, "Hey, Bubba." She goes, when she goes to bite you. She knows she's not supposed to be doing that. She says hello. She says a couple other things. Merlin has been talking more and more lately. He says chicken, chicken. I'm a good boy.
But you have to spend time teaching them.
They pick up.
Yeah.
Like I have one that screams Corinne because I'm always at the bottom of the steps yelling for my 15-year-old.
My bird would do that. My mother would say, Ed, and the bird would go, Ed.
Exactly.
No, we're at the end of our show, so I want to thank both Sherry and Jerry Johnson for coming on. The name of your organization again?
Heart and Soul Parrot Rescue.
And how do we get a hold of you?
412-748-1288. And also on Facebook, you can look us up, Heart, spell out and Soul Parrot Rescue.
And Charlie's up for adoption.
Diamond is up for adoption, and we have plenty more.
Plenty more, 40 of them.
Exactly.
Sure. So if you're looking for a wonderful pet, give these two people a call, and they'll help you find the right bird for your home.
Correct.
Thank you so much for watching Healthy Pets, Healthy Owners. Remember, you can talk to me live every Saturday morning at 9 o'clock on AM 1250 The Answer on my show, Healthy Pets, Healthy People. In fact, we're going to try to get the Johnsons on that show here in the near future to talk about their parrots. Again, thank you for your rescue efforts. Remember, a healthy pet is a happy pet. When you're healthy as well. We'll see you next time. Bye-bye.